What's up, guys? I know it's been a while since I posted anything about the FZ1, and that's because I haven't really done anything on it in a while. But today that's going to change. I've tried to do a little bit of some vlogging recently, trying to record through my phone for my audio, through my Bluetooth helmet, at the same time taking video front and rear on the GoPro Hero 4s, and trying to splice those together. Today what I'm going to work on is I'm going to take the FZ1 for a test ride as is, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take the parts of the front cowl off and the tank cowl and pull the tank up and get into some connectors on the bike, and I'm going to plug in a Dynojet Power Commander 5. Now I've already got a map loaded to it. If you need information about how to load maps, just post a comment in the comment section and I'll come back later and add a little detail. I might even add it in this video, but I didn't want to overload this video. I kind of wanted it to just be a before ride and then plug in the Power Commander and then do an after ride and just talk about the difference in the feel between the two. The only thing being different is the Power Commander. I'm not changing anything else. I'm not putting a slip on. I'm not changing the intake. I have an aftermarket filter, but the stock pipe, so that's what we're going to run in the map that I loaded for my bike. And so yeah, we'll just see what happens. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video if you need to. Like the video, share the video. Appreciate it.
Yeah, if I get the PCB on today, then I can take it out and run see if it comes down to it. Let's go have a ride. This has so much power. I'm barely rolling on the throttle, and I'm not in any kind of situation where I need to just constantly hammer on it, but it's got plenty of power the whole time. At this point, this bike doesn't have any issues. I don't have anything that I have to actually work on, so figured I'd do a little mod to it and throw on that Power Commander 5. That's a Dynojet product, and Dynojet has pretty good customer service. I actually called in and talked to a guy that was there about the different tunes they had available on their website, because they had two different tunes that looked like they matched kind of what I was looking for. Mine just doesn't have an aftermarket pipe, so I'm just going to run the tune that runs the stock pipe and an aftermarket air filter. For some reason, I think that the site said it was for a 2014 only or something like that, but the guy that I talked to said, yeah, the information just wasn't updated, but it's actually more, it's for all the Gen 2s pretty much. It'll fit my 2012 just fine, but you know, for me, the biggest difference in the lag that people get, people say when so right now I'm just kind of cruising. I'll have to slow down a good bit to get away from the cars in front of me, but if I'm just cruising and I get the RPMs really, really low and then try to bring the RPMs up in gear, if I let the RPMs get down, there's a little bit of a lag. You can almost kind of feel it. Maybe you can sense it when I'm doing it in the video. It's just low RPM, rev up on the gas, change gear, let the RPM come down, and then push the gas again, and sometimes there's kind of a bit of a lag. But the difference that I've seen that makes it so the lag goes away is to just keep your RPMs up. Don't let the RPMs drop as much, so that means just don't roll off the throttle completely, and that seems to help. It might be that when you roll off the throttle completely, that's what does the fuel cutoff, and when you do the fuel cutoff, that's what gives it the lag. So my hope is, or my thought is, that when the fuel cutoff happens, which is a stock, it's a stock thing, you can actually get that changed with the tune. You can get that turned off, but like I said, I'm just doing a real quick lap. I just kind of want to get a feel for the, just get a real quick feel, just kind of refresh the feel for the bike right now, and then I'll put that Power Commander on. It's going to take a minute to put that Power Commander on, because you can't just take off the seat and plug it in. You actually have to pull the tank up. So I've pulled the tank up before a couple times for different things. The last thing I think was probably the gear indicator that I put on. So with that being said, I'm just getting a little familiar with the ride, just the feel of the throttle. I'm not going to notice any difference in probably a lot of things. I'm kind of starting from scratch. I've never had a Power Commander on this before, not even an older version, so and it doesn't have anything on it now. There's no tune, there's no power commander. It's just completely stock. The actual sprockets are still stock, and so the only thing I'm changing is going to be that power commander 5. So I should be able to tell whatever difference there is. I should be able to tell pretty clear once I get that put in. I don't know that it's going to be substantial. Apparently, it's not going to give me any kind of horsepower gain, even though it seems to me that if you're changing the balance of the fuel, then it would affect the horsepower if the stock fuel map is restricting fuel when it needs more fuel or giving it too much fuel when it needs less fuel. It seems like it would have an adverse effect on the horsepower output, the torque output of the engine itself. But apparently the guy that I talked to from Dynojet said I'm probably not going to see any difference in horsepower or torque, so I don't know. Somebody probably knows a good bit more about this than I do. This isn't meant to be a long vlog session. I'm just trying to get outside real quick and then get back home, switch this out, so won't be too much to add to this video, except probably record the process of taking the tank off and putting the power commander in. I'm going to have to read the directions a little bit just to make sure I do it in the right order. I can't remember if you have to unplug the battery first or anything like that, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a big job. Just always be careful when you pull the tank up, because there has been a known issue where people put the tank back down and they don't put the fuel line back the same way that it was routed, and you can kink the fuel line. I haven't had that issue. So far, nothing I've done on the bike has caused an issue I've had to reverse. Now when I first got this bike, it did have an aftermarket slip-on pipe on it, and the X-up has been removed because the X-up's built into the mid-pipe, the stock exhaust, so you had to actually get a mid-pipe, and there's like a difference between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 where the X-up is the location of the stock exhaust itself. Mine actually came with the aftermarket Vance and Hines, and it sounded good, but man, it rode like crap, and I just couldn't get used to it. I rode it for about 3 months that way, and then just decided to put it back to stock, and putting it back to stock actually made a big difference. I actually liked it a lot better that way, so I put it back to stock, and I haven't gone back to anything aftermarket since. I just haven't felt like it really needed it, so I'm gonna get the bike back up in the garage, and once I get it back up in the garage, then we'll pull it apart and get that power commander on it. Get that power commander on it. Not even worth it to put it up. Might as well just keep it out, but alright, I'm going to cut off the Bluetooth in the helmet.
Not too bad. It's all in now. So as you can see, I routed up the power commander modules up here. I ran the wires underneath the center bracket and then across to the other side. They actually have it coming under this side. I didn't notice any problem with just running it around and then going over to the connector. The connector is actually on this side. You'll notice there's like a 20 pin connector here or a 16 pin connector, and there's a 12 over there. Whatever the number, there's two gray connectors. They say in the booklet that there's a gray connector. There's actually two. There's one on the, say, right side, and then there's one on the left side. It's the one on the left side that's right here. There's a bigger connector, and that's the one you have to plug into. So that's the one that I've got. I ran the ground wire, the little wire, ran the ground wire to the battery. I've got the power commander module up in the top. It's already got the map on it. So now the next thing I'm going to do is just wash my hands up a little bit, and then we'll get the bike back out and take a ride and see how it does.
PCV is in, everything's fit in place, didn't have any issues with that, so that was nice. But let me get it back out. Let's see what difference it makes. Idle. Fuel changed a little bit, but seems fine. So, let's see what difference it makes. Sorry if the camera's making you a little nauseous. We're starting to get a little bit of a sideways pattern in just to make sure the tires are clear from sitting in the garage. Hopefully you're not hearing this massive buzz in the front end. It feels kind of buzzy, but I'm not sure if you're hearing that or not. But I know the map that I loaded is not that aggressive because I just have a stock pipe and I only adjusted it for the aftermarket air filter. I have a K&N air filter in there, so that's all I adjusted it for. I haven't done an airbox mod or the AIS block off plates or anything like that, so it feels like maybe in the lower RPM, it feels like there might just be a little bit more like it's not quite got that lag that I mentioned before in the low RPM. If that's true, if all it took was remapping the fuel a little bit to get the that lag to go away, that's not a bad feature. I paid $150 for the TCV, so that doesn't seem like that's too bad of a deal versus getting a full tune if you don't need it. But I mean, the I know the PCV new is a lot more expensive, so you kind of just have to find one from somebody. Now I don't have the auto-tune kit, and mine, when I first bought it, it didn't come with the O2 optimizer. The guy that I bought it from forgot to take it off to his bike and send it with the kit, but he took it off, and in the meantime I talked to Dynojet, and they said they're actually not doing the O2 optimizer anymore. They found out that it actually just, it runs fine, and they programmed the PCV with the newest firmware so that you don't need the O2 optimizer. So I actually left the O2 optimizer out. I didn't put it on this time around, so I think I'd probably have to, I don't know, I'd have to be like really familiar with like riding on a track or something in order to get the full benefit of changing the PCV the way that I did today. It's not necessarily that I'm gonna get a ton more the way that it is, but I figured I'd at least try to get a little bit of ride in and just see if I can tell the difference. I need to look at the directions. I think maybe with the auto-tune you have to like let it idle and then do some things to it to program it correctly. I don't have the auto-tune on it, so it's not picking up off the O2 sensors or anything like that. So I know I'm not going to get that benefit for the optimizer, or not the O2 optimizer, but the auto-tune. So like I said, this might just be a little bit of advanced on the throttle, where it doesn't seem like it's got the lag that it had before. You know, it's got a good bit of pickup as is, and it might have been, there might be a little bit of a, I don't know what you call it. I think I got a bug up in my helmet. There might have been a little bit of a, maybe a performance gain, I guess you'd call it. I don't think there is a bug in my helmet. That's never fun. But I think I'll just run down to the gas station, then come back. Get a little bit more of a ride-in with the change in the PCV being installed. But the good news is everything's still working. It's not like I had a bad connection or didn't put the connectors together or didn't ground it or anything like that. Everything seems to be working fine, so that's good. I mean, the bike's just got a phenomenal amount of pickup stock. So unless you really need it, there's not much you need to add to this bike, even from stock, to get it to have more power than your own physical ability. I know the bike has more power than my own physical ability. It's not like I've ridden a ton of bikes, but I've had experience on leader bikes and have ridden a lot of other bikes. So turn around here. Anything I need to run into the gas station for. I think I'll take it back. I think this bike has a bit more kick in it. I just needed to get a chance to get open where I didn't have anybody in front of me and really hammer on it for a second. I think that this bike actually has a good bit more pickup now. It's not necessarily smoother. The gears have always been smoother, but it just feels like there's just a little bit more power throughout the RPM range in the gears as you're riding. And, you know, to me, that's for $150 to change it up a little bit. I said that's not bad. I don't think I would have made this. I don't think I would have made this change if I had known that it was only a fuel optimizer and it didn't do anything else. I don't know that I would have made a change, specifically buying the PCV. If I was going to pay full price, if I was going to buy it new, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I think that the bike actually has a little bit more kick to it now. Percentage-wise, I'm not sure. Maybe another 10 or 15% over stock. You know, that's not a bad pickup. That's not a bad amount for not getting full tune, but yeah, that's pretty much where it's at now. And I'm just gonna leave it. I think I'm just gonna leave the map the way it is. I'm not gonna try to make any micro adjustments just because I don't have a dyno and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference anyway. So yeah, as is, I think it's nice. I think it's nice that it's got a little bit more pep to it. Everything seems to be running fine. Don't have any issues with idle, even after getting it warm. No issues on startup. I don't have a bunch of fuel. You know, it's not overfueling, dumping fuel, not detonating and dumping fuel out of the, we call it not overflow, but everything seems to be running fine, so I'll leave it at that. I don't know, either park it for now or I've already got it out. I might go for another ride real quick. Thankfully I don't have any responsibilities at home right now, so probably just go out. My cameras are gonna die, so I know I won't have that. Fans are on. It's 212 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the engine temp, not the coolant. So yeah, it looks like. My rear camera has died. Front camera's still going. I'm not doing any clutch grabs, really. Trying to get the front end to lift up. It doesn't feel like I'd have to do too much to do that. It feels like I could probably just, man, there's some definite fuzz up in the front. I got rid of that a long time ago, but it's still there. Like I said, nobody's around. Nobody needs me right now. Thankfully, my back is not killing me. Typically, I usually don't go on a ride just because my back hurts so bad. I just don't even want to try it. But maybe I'll do my bigger loop, go down through Clayton, come back around. Ride through town a little bit, give it a chance to warm up, see if anything feels different. Now it does feel like at that first initial start in the gear, it does feel like the yeah, and I need to get some tank grip. Don't forget to remind me to get some tank grip, but I need the side one. So on initial low RPM starting in each gear, it seems to me that there is less of a drop before the pull starts, and that was something noticeable enough that a lot of people have complained about that. That there's a lag at the beginning of shifting into a gear. So not having that lag is a nice feature. And we'll see if we get any difference in gas mileage. I kind of expect a change. If you look at the fuel map, there's kind of a variation where in some instances it's increasing the amount of fuel, and some it's decreasing, and I don't know if over time those are going to even out. It's just going to be nothing. Now, if I'm trying to see if I've got performance upgrades, what's the thing that I'm going to do the most? I'm going to get on the throttle more, just like doing anything on a car. Change something performance-wise, and you're going to want to hammer on it. So you're going to get worse gas mileage in the beginning. Some things are so much fun and make it sound so much better that you're going to do that all the time, so your gas mileage is just going to go down. You're not going to drive it like a grandmother anymore. But it's probably the same with this. I'm kind of getting on a little bit more just to see what the difference is and if there's a difference in performance or not. So, you know, that's something that I would notice when I come around after using a full tank and use a full tank of gas, and then check my miles per gallon. I don't keep up with that religiously, but it is something that I pay attention to, so, you know, we'll see if it makes any difference or not. I wouldn't mind if it did, so, hey, look, an Avalon. Gotta figure out where this buzz is coming from. It's really annoying. Now what it might be doing is it might be adjusting the fuel up enough so that instead of the fuel shut off happening, it's leaving fuel in the system. Like I said, maybe it's kind of advancing a bit of fuel in the system so that the lag between the gears doesn't have as much of a drop to catch up again. It's really hard to tell because, I don't know, messing with the fuel is something that I've done before. I've never put a tune on a motorcycle. I've put a tune on a vehicle before, an old truck that I had, but it's been a long time, and I feel like at that time I knew a little bit more about specifically what it was doing for the truck itself. When I went to go and buy the PCV, I actually thought that it did more than just fuel. I thought it changed some other things as well. I actually had COVID when I got it, when I bought it, and didn't know that there were some things in there that it wasn't going to do. So, you live, you learn. But I was thinking about, if I bought it cheap enough, I was thinking about maybe just turning around and selling it, making a little profit on it. But I think I'm just going to leave it alone. Probably just going to keep it, and whatever gains that I get from it, I'll just leave it as is. There's a wonderful start of Clayton. Welcome to town, here's the Culver's kind of thing. The next thing I could do eventually is get an aftermarket pipe. I probably need a full tune, not just a fuel map reprogram, but now we'll run this and see how it goes. Sorry, lost. get rid of that. Like I know if I can hear it, you can definitely hear it, so sorry about that. Definitely got a buzz in there, can't get rid of. My front camera's still going, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back road. I don't really feel like riding through. That's Main Street. Clayton is ahead. I'm on to take an exit to get on to 42. Take 42 around. Gear indicator's working great. Haven't had any issues with it. That's nice. Always nice when you add something to it and you don't have problems with it later. Except for the buzzing. I have one more chance to get on it before we get back to the house. Yeah, pretty man. He's looking for me. Alright, so the front camera died. Everything's still running fine. That's it for now. Dude.